career at Michigan.
All right, we'll get to Carson Wentz and the Eagles in a second, but first, Patriots, Cowboys, N'Keal Harry keeping both feet in bounds on a nice back shoulder grab. For N'Keal, first career touchdown for him.
And in the 75th different player Tom Brady's thrown touchdown pass to. A little bit of a push-off, but more. I can't believe he got that right foot down. Good. Left foot?
There's a elite quarterback right there, baby.
One of the foot.
Bucs and Falcons, the deflected pass doesn't stop Chris Godwin from making a nice one-handed touchdown catch.
It actually helped him a little bit. I tell you, Chris Godwin's having an amazing year right now. I mean, he's well on pace for 13.
You know who's not having a major year? The Falcons.
No.
Steelers and Bengals, Tyler Boyd goes up, makes a really tough one-handed grab.
All right, good job by the Bengals in this catch and in losing the game and essentially locking up number one pick. How about our guy Mike Tomlin, coach? He goes to Duck Dynasty at halftime, makes just enough plays. Steelers alive for the playoffs despite all the injuries.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, though, when it's that close against Cincinnati.
Hey, man, that's how they got to win football games. That's how they got to win.
Big game this week, rematch.
Yeah.
All right, guys, time now for drawing a blank. Here we go. Jimmy G carried the Niners to a blowout win over the Packers last night, finishing 14 of 20. He had 253 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Bart will let you decide. The most impressive individual performance on Sunday was blank.
I'm going to go Drew Brees. On a day where clearly the defense didn't have their best stuff, he was able to manufacture a game-winning drive. I think his 36th fourth-quarter game-winning drive, and we knew there was no doubt once that field goal was missed that he was going to get his guys in position to win the game. I think they're the best team in the NFC, the most complete team in the NFC, and eventually this defense will get back to playing elite like it was early in the year.
Yeah, I really liked Derrick Henry yesterday. 8.4 yards a carry, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just the physical way that he plays and the tone that he sets, it's impressive.
Your friend Mike Vrabel has the Titans in it once again, a team nobody talks about, and Coach might have been the only person in America watching the Titans yesterday during the Cowboys-Patriots, but I'm glad you gave him a shout-out. I'm going to go to Baker. The Browns absolutely had to have it. Baker was sensational, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, found Odell in the end zone for the first time since week 2 against the Jets, a 119 rating, as the Browns set up, as you mentioned, Bart, what's going to be a hotly contested, tempers flaring rematch with the Pittsburgh Steelers here in a week, with maybe that second AFC wildcard spot on the line, but the Titans will have something to say about that as well.
All right, from the good to the bad, Carson Wentz finished with a career-high 4 turnovers against Seattle. Eagles lose 17-9. They dropped to 5-6 on the season. So, Bart, the most disappointing loss yesterday was blank.
Has to be the Oakland Raiders coming all the way across town. You talk about Derek Carr completing 74% of his passes going into the game. You know, playing the New York Jets. You know, for him to get benched in the third quarter. I mean, you talk about the 30-burger put up by the Jets and a dominant performance. You know, you got to go with them because all that they had in stake, the opportunity to really position themselves for the wild card. They were in the wild card in the 6th seed, but opportunity to maybe compete for the division. It has to be the Oakland Raiders.
Just real quick on that, it sure seemed like the Raiders were looking ahead. Next week, they're in Kansas City. It would have been 7-4 versus 7-4, division potentially on the line, and they lay an egg beforehand.
Yeah, look, it's hard traveling across the country and playing those early games. But for me, it was the Packers, and they're traveling across the country, and the last time they didn't do very well, and they said they had a better week of practice, a better week of preparation. They come out and start the game the way that they do, and it was disappointing across the board just because Aaron Rodgers, they were dominating defensively. Their offense was dominated by San Francisco's defense, and Aaron Rodgers had no chance throughout that game to get anything going.
I'm with you on the Packers because of the missed opportunities. Since Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback, the Packers have been one of the best teams in football, we think. And the Niners have had one good stretch of football. Yet over that stretch of time, they have the same number of first-round buys, the same number of conference championship game appearances, the same number of Super Bowl appearances. Green Bay obviously won theirs. Yep. San Francisco lost theirs. And now the Niners are the team positioned for a first-round bye. Green Bay is the team that's positioned to once again have a very difficult road to the Super Bowl. And by the way, they now have the same record as the Minnesota Vikings, and Green Bay all of a sudden could be the 5 seed if they drop another game. So the Packers, and because they were just annihilated for all those reasons, I say Green Bay. I agree with Coach.
All right, move on to the New England Patriots. It was a wet game. It was an ugly game. It was a cold and windy game in Foxborough, but Tom Brady and the Patriots did what they do best. They just won the game. taking down the Cowboys 13-9. Bart, the best team win yesterday was blank.
We'll go to Seattle Seahawks. You know, talk about teams that struggle going across country. Well, this is a team that didn't. You know, you look at what they were able to do in running the ball and finding ways to win. You know, without their best defensive player in Ja'Jaben Clowney, Ziggy Ansah stepped up, turned the clock back a little bit, got 1.5 sacks, and they harassed him, was able to get 4 turnovers, put their team on short fields and make the game-winning plays. Got to go to Seattle.
Yeah, to me, it's got to be the Patriots. And I hear people talk about New England's victories, and they say, well, it wasn't pretty, or they had to use a trick play, or whatever the case. It doesn't matter how you get the victory. It's collective, and they were able to gain an edge on special teams yesterday. Tom's playing again with 2 receivers that really are getting some of their first work. N'Keal Harry getting his first work. It's just impressive the way that they're able to collectively come together and find a way to win, and it's going to not always be pretty, but it doesn't have to be pretty.
Yeah, because the question is best team win, it has to be New England. Because once again, they won a game despite their passing attack giving them nothing. They manufactured points, block a punt, force a turnover, win the field position battle, do all the little things that you have to do against a theoretically good opponent in Dallas when your passing game can bring nothing to the table. So I give credit to the Patriots defense, their coaching staff, their special teams, all of it, because that was a team victory because of what they had to offset in the passing game.
How long can they get away with this?
Well, look what they've done so far.
No, I understand that. But
it's one of those things where they never look back, so they'll just look forward and figure out the formula for that one game.
All right, good stuff. Coming up, is Jerry Jones blaming Jason Garrett for the Cowboys' loss? Next on First Things First.
Don't worry, I'm sure Bill O'Brien will correct